Who told you that you have recessive genes? Who told you that your ancestors' history started with slavery and that there's nothing else beyond that point? So there's no need to even look. Who told you that black people are natural born killers and criminals? You see, we've been criminalized in the society for many, many years, 400 plus years. As a matter of fact, if you believe in the Bible, look up Genesis 15:13, where it talks about us having to, well, there's a people that will serve as slaves for 400 years. We've been in slavery since 1619. Now it's 2021. Exactly 400 years. 402 years, if I'm correct. And if that scripture is correct, plus Deuteronomy 28, verse 68, we, at the end of 400 years, there's a people who were enslaved will be the ones reaping a great harvest, a bountiful blessing that will come upon us for the 400 years we've been serving as slaves, enslaved to a people. So we'll see, because there's been many things been prophesied and have come to pass. The plagues. Right now, the country is on fire with gun violence. There's an increase in gun violence. California increased 22%. I believe Arizona increased 13%. New York, 24%. You know, which usually happens in the summer. You know what I'm saying? Things get crazy. People get riled up. There's nothing to do. Kids are out in school, getting all kinds of trouble, finding guns, shooting each other. You go to, you look at Chicago, go to Chicago. Of course, their gun violence is always high for some reason, because their neighborhoods have been gentrified. See, a lot of black folks think that it's our fault that we live in the ghetto. We've been stuck in the ghetto, generations, living in the ghetto. And unfortunately, many people don't have any aspiration to get out of the hood. So they stay complacent. For my people suffer for the lack of knowledge. See, we've been educated in the European system to benefit Europeans, to solve their problems. In actuality, education is supposed to be about saving you and your people, your community. You're educated to solve your problems, but we're educated to solve European problems, not black problems, not black issues. Because if we were, we'd be attacking and addressing the black on black crime situation, the violence in our communities. And we do understand people commit crimes to those that are in close proximity, right? But what you don't know is that there's also a big problem with abortions in the black community. If I'm correct, since 1980, there's been about 60 million aborted babies in the black community. 60 million. In black homes, 72%. Some stats say even higher. Over 70% of black homes are raised by single black mothers. And so we wonder why our communities are ravaged, are pillaged by children who are supposed to be the blessing to our communities. But unfortunately, many of them have become curses to the community. Robbing, raping, killing, home invasions. Young kids doing home invasions is that. Kids as young as 13, 14 years old coming in homes, kicking in doors, blasting, sodomizing the people in the homes. I mean, these stories go on and on and on. It's not just one kid, it's a group of kids. And birds of a feather flock together. As I mentioned, my people suffer for the lack of knowledge. These kids, these children, these young adults don't know who they are. And yeah, we can tell them, stop doing this, stop doing that. Mental program here, mental program there. A lot of these programs don't help at all because they only address the symptoms and not the deep-rooted problems, which is thinking, proactive thinking. If you're not a proactive thinking person, then you will become a passive thinking person, a non-active, a reactionary thinking person. And if you play the game of chess, you have to be a proactive thinker. Think several steps ahead. A lot of our youth are not thinking several steps ahead. There's no one there to guide them. There's no one, the fathers aren't there, the male role models aren't there to help show them the correct way. Now, I was raised up in a single parent home myself, but luckily for me, I wanted to be exact opposite of what I was seeing or what I was experiencing. My father was in there, so I wanted to be a better man. I wanted to be a great dad, a father. And not just to me, but the children in my community. That's why we started a C2B chess program, which Courage to Be International, teach the kids how to play chess, and so they can think ahead. If you do this can happen, or in a positive way. If you do that, this can happen in a negative way. They all know the realities. They have family members in prison, maybe their mom in prison, their dad in prison, and it's unfortunate that the United States is bent on punishment and not correcting the issues. They would rather spend, $60,000, $70,000 per year to house an inmate in state prison, federal prison, but won't spend $15,000 per student to make sure that they are heading in the right direction and they have a proper start in the society. Because we refuse to pick up books. We are encouraged to be dumb and stupid, just like in the slave days, the antebellum days, where if you had a day off, you were encouraged to buy liquor and party. If you did not buy liquor and go party, drink yourself to death, then you were punished. The money that you got was not for you to go buy books when you were enslaved, whether it was in America, whether it's in Haiti, Jamaica, Bahamas, wherever. They wanted you to spend that money on alcohol, not to better yourself. And if you were smart, they'll call you a smart nigga, and then they'll lynch you or beat you. There have been some cases on plantations where people receive 160 lashes, 360 lashes. They got so tired of whipping our ancestors to death that they would take turns and shifts. There's no way you're gonna hit somebody 300 something times. So they'll take shifts. Okay, you give them 50 lashes, you give them 100 lashes, I'm gonna do 100, you gonna do 30, whatever. The ignorance that our people have been conditioned into, we can see the effects right now, to where we won't even help support a brother and sister that is trying to do their best to not just for themselves, but for the community. Case in point, Dr. Umar Johnson shouldn't be raising, for the past 10 years, raising money for the school, the Marcus Garvey Frederick Douglass Academy. He should have been had that money. There's plenty of millionaires and billionaires that are black, that are conscious. If we continue depending on the government to better ourselves, we're not going to better ourselves. But here this man is trying to build a school and can't get the funds to finish the school. My organization, we're also trying to acquire, no, we're not trying, we're going to acquire a building so that we can start the Rosette Pierre Creative Art Center to teach the youth how to write their own books, which means write their own future, write their own stories, produce their own films, become cooks, help them advance in their artistic skills so they can be business people, entrepreneurs, so they can do for themselves. Now, I've been talking about this for years. Well, actually, the program is pretty new, but the other programs we've had them for years, since 2015. You go to my website, KevinDorival.com, to get more information. That's KevinDorival.com. Because I realized that we're not writing our future. The judges are writing our future. The state prosecutors are writing our future. The prison wardens are writing our future. Everybody's writing our future but us. But we got the power, but we give that power away. We don't see ourselves as winners. We see ourselves as natural losers, generally speaking, because many of us have our minds right. Because if you have your mind right, you're going to have everything else right. Everything is based on the qualities of your mind. Everything. Your worldview. How do you see yourself in this world? How do you see yourself advancing in the future? Are you excited about your future? And unfortunately, we aren't excited about our future. We dread our futures. Why? Because many of us are what? We going to what? We thinking about prison. We thinking about avoiding getting shot. We thinking about avoiding getting killed. We thinking about baby mama drama, baby daddy drama. We thinking about police killing us, pulling us over. We thinking about George Floyd, Breonna Taylor. You know, we're thinking about these cases and everything else, everything that has nothing to do with pushing us forward. Marcus Garvey said long time ago, do what you can, do your best. Stop worshiping heroes of other races when we have countless, where Africa has produced countless leaders of bravery and courage during times of war and peace. So why not see the good and perfection in ourselves? You see, we've been lied to. We've been lied to such a degree that if a black person is telling us facts and historical things that can help us correct our present situation, which impacts our future, we won't believe him unless a white person comes. That's brainwashing. That's thinking backwards. My book, The Winner in the Mirror, Activating Superpowers, Mind, Body, and Spirit, I started writing that book only because when I realized how many black boys are committing suicide at an alarming rate. As a matter of fact, black boys are the #1 growing population committing suicide. #1 population. One, fathers not in the home to give them emotional stability, and black girls are not too far behind. But we outnumbering white folks. Back to what I was saying. One, our fathers not home to balance our emotional strength, our mental strength, that balance that we need between masculine and feminine energy. Social media is causing us to wish and hope and envy other people and looking down upon ourselves instead of looking up about ourselves. 3, the inadequate resources in our community, the economic slavery of our people, the enslavement, the modern day slavery of our fathers in prison. These things are weighing heavy on our black boys. That's why I wrote that book. That's why I really hope, because I know Marcus Garvey couldn't save everybody, Harriet Tubman couldn't save everybody, General Toussaint Louverture, the Haitian Revolution couldn't save everybody, but they knew who they could save. Harriet Tubman said, I could have saved thousands more if they only knew they were slaves. We don't know today that we are slaves. Juneteenth, they just passed Juneteenth to being a national holiday last week, right? I believe June 18th, they passed it. And we butt licking, tap dancing, celebrating that when we should have been pushing for reparations. We should have rejected that national holiday because we already been celebrating it for years, generations, decades. And we weren't even free 1865. The slavery still going on a year later. Even though our freedom was federal. Abraham Lincoln gave us our freedom. He wrote the Emancipation Proclamation with 1863. And 1865, people were still enslaved in Texas. Lack of knowledge, and they were still suffering. We're still suffering to today. And they let us go with just the clothes on our backs. No money, no land, no nothing. And they invited all these immigrants from all these other countries, from Europe, gave them free land, gave them advantage to make sure that we stayed impoverished. Now we're in the information age. Modern day, we are in the information age, so there's no reason to still be stuck on stupid, thinking that all you're gonna do is work for the white man. When you could be entrepreneur. Thinking, All I'm gonna do is stay in the hood, get drunk, money, hoes, and clothes. That's stinking thinking. You should be investing money into your communities, the businesses that are in the communities, and also in the youth. Dr. Amos Wilson always talked about that. Dr. Francis Chris Wilson always talked about that. Investing in the youth, not just giving them books, but books that help them with their problems, their community problems. That's the base of intelligence, the ability to solve your problems. And we're not solving our problems. And all that happiness about Juneteenth, federal holiday, when we should have been putting that pressure on them, just like they put that pressure on George Floyd's neck, we should have been putting the pressure on the federal government, Joe Biden administration, the National Black Caucus, and the NAACP, right? Urban League, these major bootleg organizations, which they're only there to really keep us, you know what I'm saying, keep us out of, from tearing up the neighborhoods, really, to calm us down. That's why they got people like Al Sharpton, Jesse Jackson, Stephen A. Smith, you know, on the sports side, to keep us in organized chaos. The go along, get along gang, like Brother Kwame Brown always says. They want to keep us being complacent, being passive, spending our money on liquor, on drugs, keep us high. They fill our water with fluoride. Flint, Michigan still don't have clean water. They still getting water donated to the city. There's so many things against us, but what we do have for us, what we do have is our melanated skin. We have our brain, powerful brain, hundreds of billions of brain cells that we can use towards our benefit, because the way we think is how we create our world. The way we think is how we speak, how we focus our brain, our willpower, our spiritual strength, our energy, the God within, our energy to make happen what we want to make happen for the betterment of ourselves and for the next generation. Something must be done today, not tomorrow, today. For our people suffer the lack of knowledge, and we are in information age. We got pocket computers, these mobile smartphones. We can communicate people all over the world through social media, not just post up a bunch of funny stuff and things that are degrading to the black community. Girls fighting each other, black men fighting each other. And you black men better stop all that foolishness, man. Kwame Brown just mentioned Dr. Umar, Kevin Samuels, Dr. Boris Watkins, Stephen A. Smith, Charlamagne the God, Tariq Nasheed, all these powerful black men attacking each other. These white folks are laughing at us. See, we don't know who we are. They reading the Bible. They know who we are. They know we the Hebrews. 12 tribes of Judah. We the real Hebrews. We built the world. We built Kemet, Egypt. We built some of the finest things all over the world. To this day, even in Haiti, the citadel. We have a powerful brain. We come from a royal bloodline, but we allow white folks to teach us that we ain't shit. And we teaching our children that we ain't nothing. Especially you dysfunctional baby mothers and baby fathers. We can do better. We will do better. For our people are blessed with the wealth of knowledge. I'm King Kevin Dorival, KevinDorival.com. Like, subscribe, share this, comment. Love to hear your voice. Definitely keep in contact with me. Bless. And we will overcome. Best believe it. Okay? For the blessing of the Lord shall make us rich, add no sorrow. Many blessings. KevinDorival.com.